the same idea. Rio's winter, summer pudding, they match each other. Summer pudding has won it. Ikigai, Frosted Gold, Riverstown, Asterix, then comes Eden Rock, Green Laser, but it's Ikigai. He's shaken off the intentions of the opposition. Second place is Frosted Gold, then comes Green Laser. It's all Ikigai. Life is good. Ikigai has won the Gauteng Guineas.
The late and great Bill Johnson always used to say that proper preparation prevents poor performance, and with regard to the preparation of thoroughbred racehorses here in Gauteng, it is Turffontein, Turffontein and the Vaal that needs special attention, and for that reason we're going to speak to the gentleman in charge of all the tracks. His name is Thomas Rasasmola, to tell us about the spring and summer treatment, after which we're going to speak to Kenny Matabola to find out exactly how Turffontein has adapted to the climate change. A fascinating study. Let's join first of all Thomas Rasasmola.
Proper preparation has ensured that racing has been absolutely sparkling this season.
Yeah, I think if you look at both the Turffontein track and the Vaal track, I think sprint treatment went very well. The Vaal track, if you look at it, we managed to get a good proper sprint treatment, dress the track properly, managed to work on the undulations, level the track properly. So I think it's evident on the track. You can see the track is performing very well. Racing is continuing very well on the track. It's taking water a lot better, and all the jockeys are happy with the track. If you look at last year, December, we had more than above average on our rainfall. I think we had about 230 mils of rainfall at the Vaal only in December, which was very excessive and above average. And Turffontein had 187 mils, so it looks like the climate change is actually affecting us very well. But besides the excessive rainfall that we had, we managed to continue with our racing. As I said, the tracks are taking the rain a lot better.
So there was a lot of very good planning with the crop cover, let's put it that way, to prevent burning from really cold evenings. And also, everything that was planned seemed to get done up until the rains came.
Yeah, this year we planned at the Vaal. I think we planned a lot better, where we bought frost covers for the whole track. So after spring treatment, we managed to put frost covers down, and that did help us a lot. But as I said, in terms of climate change, it's affecting us a lot, because I think the 31st of October, we were still having frost at the Vaal, whereby our track was knocked back by about 2 or 3 weeks, whereby we had brown track, but it managed to spring back and got the color back, and everything seems to be going well so far into autumn.
Now, obviously, the extensions that were talked about at the Vaal racetrack were impeded by the excessive rain in December and the fact that a lot of people closed down their operations for the Christmas break, which is, I think, a standard practice.
Yeah, we had an excessive rain over the December period, and that pulled us back a little bit on our projects. The widening of the classic track is a bit behind. As we said, you don't have all the backup that you need in terms of suppliers, because most of the guys close on the 13th, our TEF guys close on the 20th, so we didn't have enough backup that we need to get everything that we need to get the project going. The plan is to try and finish that project by the end of this month, so we can give that track at least, that portion of the track at least 2 months to grow, and hopefully we'll be racing on it by May at least, and going through into the winter months.
Now, if it was a poly track and you just lay concrete and you add new fibre, it's easy. But this is completely different, because you have to join the two surfaces, one that has been raced on, one that is being joined and created. It would appear that you are dependent on nature, and of course you need to give it time to make sure that it knits properly before you run the risk of putting horses on it.
Yeah, as I said, we're trying to finish at the end of this month, so we can give it 2 months of growth. The weather looking at the weather, it seems like it will be good weather going into February and March. We will have rain, but just normal rain, not excessive as we had in December months. Because also, if you have excessive rain with not enough sunlight, photosynthesis will have a problem whereby your grass won't be growing that well. In terms of getting that portion of the track ready, we also have to get the same growing medium as the rest of the track to have the same consistency as the rest of the track. But all is going well so far. I think we will be able to finish by the end of the month.
As far as the dams are concerned, obviously the excessive rain that you had in December must have done you proud from a storage perspective, and not necessitating pumping out of this rather acid-filled Vaal River.
Yeah, it did help a lot. I think in December we only irrigated like 12 mils on the tracks. The rest of the December we've been getting good rain, so it did help a lot. We also managed to pump water into our dams, so they now full. Hopefully we'll start pulling from that now, since the hot weather seems to be coming back now.
And finally, the thinking behind broadening the track on the classic track, more chance for everybody to have a fair crack at winning.
I think a more fair racing and to give the track managers more room for wear and tear.
To move the false rail.
Yeah, they'll move the false rail a lot better, and that's good for the horses. They'll have more fresh going more often.
And finally, the moving of the Grand Heritage was a very, very well planned move between yourselves and, of course, the operators to make sure that an innovative event that was not blessed with nature's blessing.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that we had to postpone, but on the day that we postponed to, I think the weatherman played a big role. The weather was good on the day. Track held up very well besides all the rains that we had in December, and the day went well. So I think it was a success.
Well, Kenny, looking at what we see here, both the stand side and the inside track, it looks like nature's been very kind to you, but you've also planned extremely well to take advantage of the weather, and the course has been absolutely unbelievable this summer season.
This year we approached the season by targeting 3 areas. First one was drainage, and the second one was a feel of the track, which has to do with the compaction and compaction relief, and that goes along with the feedback that we get from the jockeys. So we wanted to keep that consistency in terms of the positive feedback that we get from them. At the end of the day, we have to provide the surfaces that they love, and then it produces a feeling that they are looking for.
We're standing about 100 meters from the finish line on the stand side track. Let's talk about the pull-up for a start, what you did this year.
A pull-up this year, there was nothing specific that we have done. It was a continuation of what we have done last year. Last year, the drainage system was installed, and it was installed quite late, and then the coverage was not ideal, as opposed to this year. This year was a matter of removing your thatch and identifying your dressing to find that balance, whether your track is able to drain quickly and be able to retain moisture that the grass needs to grow.
Obviously, it's not ideal pulling up on a downhill when horses are tired, but that's the topography of the land. It is what it is, and you've done your best to make sure that where the 2 tracks join, that it's a smooth transition.
Yeah, that was planned 5 years ago to widen that pull-up, to make sure that it works on our advantage, and then we see the result now. The wear and tear on that area is very less since the pull-up has been widened. The section from the finish pole to 450, we're still planning around it in terms of width. There's nothing we can do with the downhill that is there. It's a naturally layout of Turffontein. If we try to improve it, we might impede on the back straight. If we have long races, horses going into the back straight will be a big challenge. So we'll plan properly, and then as we go along, and then we'll report back what our plans are, and then it will be implemented.
Now, I drove along a training track that was just gravel stones. I know that since then, you've obviously put a lot of topsoil on there, or river sand, or whatever. You can explain to us exactly how the new training track has been implemented.
I'm receiving a positive feedback from trainers. The beach track that was refurbished this year, it was built years ago. It was due for refurbishment this year, and we have put a new material. A new material is a sand that helps us to conduct training under wet conditions, and it has shown that we're able to train where our other tracks were underwater. So positive feedback from trainers and jockeys. It's doing very, very, very well. Yeah.